It is my great pleasure to introduce Matteo Picariello, is the new Italian Trade Commissioner of the office in Chicago.
Welcome everybody, and as Elena mentioned, I'm new in Chicago because I arrived last fall with my family, but I also have to say I'm new to this industry. So in my career, I've been promoting many Italian products from vinegar to industrial goods, but never books. So that's quite an exciting thing for me, and this is my first ever Book Expo. And I must say that I'm lucky because in my office I found very skilled people. So I wish to thank Elena Phillips and also Josephine Albanese from my office for the great job they do, for the support, for all the activities they run for the book promotion. I bet that promoting books in general, an Italian book, is not as easy as promoting Italian fashion or Italian food. And this project is probably more charitable as well, because promoting books and publishers from the South is even more difficult. And this is one of the reasons why we have so many speakers in such a short slot of time, because they will be able, each of them for their segment, to tell you more about what we are planning to do and what we want to achieve. So after this short introduction, I am really pleased and honored to have here with us the President of Italian Publisher Association, Dr. Polillo, who will tell you more about this project, as well as the great cooperation we have with the association, because as the Italian trade agency, whenever we do an activity abroad, in U.S. as well as in many other countries, we work hand-to-hand with the Publishing Association. And let me conclude that one of the targets we have with this project is not only to let Americans discover the books and the authors from the South, which are already very successful and could be introduced to American readers, but we wish as well that many of the hidden gems we have in these regions will be able to be scouted and discovered by Americans. And as it happens, for example, in the music industry, some of our best treasure could be launched and presented first in a foreign country. So I believe this is a great opportunity, and we hope that in 6 months' time, when we probably meet up again with some of you, we will have some interesting and good news to tell. Thank you. Now, Dr. Polillo.
Thank you very much, Matteo. Good morning, everybody. It's very important for me to be here today to have a talk with you about this project, about the presence of Italy here in New York and United States. You know that the United States market is very important for every nation in the world, especially for Italy. We used to translate a lot of American authors, a lot of English books. And on the other side, it's very difficult for us to promote our books to the American market. And I think it's important because Italy is well known all over the world, especially for many, many things. Matteo told before about fashion, about other products, and books are always in a second side, third side, fourth side, because it's difficult to introduce our authors, to let our fiction or non-fiction books known in the United States. The Book Expo America is very important, and we are glad to be here, and we would like to thank the Italian Trade Commission, because without their support since many, many years, it would be impossible for us to have 15, 20, 25, 30 different publishers, especially small publishers, because, you know, the big publishers are able to come here with their own forces and their own big products to have their books translated in the United States. But for the small publishers, it's very difficult to know different American publishers, to let their products be known, because the United States it's huge comparing with Italy. And so maybe a small publisher coming from south of Italy, how can he try to to discover different publishers in the United States? So our project is to be very close to the opportunity to have our books translated, and so we would like to thank another time Italian Trade Commission, because they are the big force to let our work become better in the future. Thank you very much. And I give my phone to Leopoldo Sposato for Italian Trade Commission.
Thank you, President Marco Paolillo. Thank you, everybody, to be here. And this is Leopoldo Sposato from the headquarters in Rome. And our annual activities is to support, in cooperation with the association, as the President previously said, the activity of the publishing companies in Italy and abroad. Abroad, we participate to the international exhibition like this one, the Book Expo America, and also we organize a lot of incoming, means the most influential operator in this field we invite to Italy to visit our. But for this year, we have a special happening, a special program. We are supporting the publishing company from the 4 southern Italian region, means Puglia, Campania, Calabria, and Sicilia. They are well known all over the world because of the product, the food product, sometimes also the music, as the Picariello was said before. But now we are trying to push also the publishing activities, because most of these authors coming from the south of Italy, they are very well known in the United States. So we are trying now to push them more on this market, but all over the world. So we are very glad to announce that for 2-3 years, we are going to push all the publishing industry in Italy. But in this case, we try to push more these 4 regions that at the moment they are not very present in the Italian panorama. So related to this project, we have some publishing company from the south of Italy. One of these is Secop from Puglia, and one of representative of this company is in the life is Mr. Cosimo Scarpello. In the life, he's a lawyer, but he also has the passion to write books. He's a little critics about what the people does today, the relation between the person and the new world. So it's very interesting. So he will explain a little bit what this does. So I give the word now to the Mr. Scarpello from the Secop company.
Thank you very much. Just a few words. I am Cosimo, and I am delighted to be here and share with you my experiences, some hilarious, some less, so with the daily gadget we all have to contend with. Albert Einstein said, "I fear the day technology will go over our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots." Are we close? You know, it seems we are rushing towards more gadget, more virtual relationships. With Facebook, with Twitter, with what? What will we do next? So this jumble of thoughts and feelings, often in opposition with one another, highlights the chasm between 2 periods of time, so close and yet so distant, that just happened seemingly overnight. And that is how Stressbook came to be. I hope you will have the chance to read it and share your thoughts with me. I say thank you to Italbooks and to Bea for giving me this great, fantastic chance to introduce my book. I come from Puglia, it's a region of South Italy, and South Italy is the goal of many tourists every year. So I am glad to introduce Mr. Eugenio Magnani, Director of Italian Tourism Board of New York. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scarpello. I totally, I'm very interested in reading the book because I'm a silver hair, and what next? What next? I don't know, but I was talking before with President Paolillo when we said that, thanks God, on the plane at the moment we are not allowed to use the phone, and you are allowed to use the internet, but you have to pay. So there is some limit. So this is the reason why we are going back to read books, which is beautiful. And to have books from the south of Italy, it is even more interesting because the south of Italy, for many, many travelers, has yet to be discovered. It is not completely well known. And the few, but many thousands Americans that they have been able to go to the south, in particular the region Apulia, which is in Italian Apulie, the plurals, because there are so many things to discover that they are completely astonishing. A few years ago they were looking for buying a farmhouse or a place in Tuscany or in Umbria. Now they are looking to buy a masseria, for example, in Apulia. Masseria, the farmhouse, the fortified farmhouses in Apulia, white, with all these incredible living sculptures, as I'm used to say, about olive trees, centuries years old, where you can adopt your olive tree. Think about that. I've been there a few years ago. I remember with my friend, we were talking about that. And driving down to Apulia, you have this incredible, amazing surprise of looking to your ideal olive trees, because it's really unique. Every, olive tree is different from the other. And every olive tree has stories to tell. This is the secret, books, stories. We have to tell stories of the South. And if the Americans are able to go to the South, they will have a huge number of opportunities to tell stories. This is the secret, having stories. And stories on paper, books, the paper, I feel the smell of the pages, the touch, the senses. We are talking about the part of Italy where the senses are still alive. Think about Calabria. Calabria is this spicy food everywhere. We have the sweet food from Apulia, la burrata. Think about that. La burrata is very popular in New York as well now. It's very expensive, of course, because la burrata has to fly, cannot be transported by boat, because you have to eat the same day of the production, possibly the following one, much better. It's the same for the mozzarella, the bufala. They try to imitate here in New York or in the United States. It's not exactly the same thing. When you go to Italy and you have these experiences, they are really unforgettable. And there is this factor that you have to tell stories. Think about Sicily. There was an advertising a few years ago, a very popular one, very beautiful. I was in England 15 years ago. I was there at the Italian Tourist Board in London. And the advertising campaign was saying, the Phoenician visited, the Roman visited, the Greek visited, the Roman visited, the Norman. Just you are invited to come. You are the only one missing to visit Sicily, and Sicily is a world of civilization, because if you go there, you have all the different sides of, you have the nature. You go to, for example, I always say when I have my speeches, especially, all around the States, the islands of Sicily. Think about the capers from Pantelleria. Think about the Passito from Pantelleria as well. Think about the Moscato di Lipari. All these volcanic islands, they are amazing. This year, the Yacht Club of New York in September, they will have their regatta in southern Sicily, from Trapani and to the Egadi Islands, and then to Syracuse, and then to Ragusa, and then ending, with this beautiful visit of the Etna volcano, which is a totally different world. Think about that. Think about Campania, talking about Campania, Naples, and Capri, and all these very well-known destinations. But there is a secret. The south of Italy is I think it is a landscape of colors. When I'm talking about Campania, the region of Naples, you can think your ideal color. For me, is yellow. Yellow why? Of course, for the sun. But there is a yellow, a particular yellow that you can find only in Naples, and it is the ceramics of the cloister of Santa Chiara. Have you been there? El Chiostro di Santa Chiara. So with a memorable song as well. But so how many of these suggestions, memories, everybody can have? The important thing is to motivate the traveler to go there. And the south of Italy is, full of surprises. And every time I said, if you are in love with Italy, you have to go to the south, because driving a car, I invite them to get lost. Get lost, and you will find absolutely yourself, especially in the south of Italy, because the human factor in the south of Italy is very strong. Perhaps the pronunciation of English, from the people welcoming you is not perfect, but the warmth and the friendship and the attitude is absolutely unique. So I invite you all to go to the south if you have not been there, or if you have been there, to visit a new region, because you will be completely surprised. Thank you. Thank you to Mr. Picariello, to the Italian Trade Agency or Commission, because they are doing a very great job in Chicago, which is a town that I love very much. And I am the promoter of that city, because I think it's another place that everybody obliged to go to Chicago. When he is in Chicago, he fell in love with the city. So thank you very much for this opportunity, Matteo.
Thank you very much to all our distinguished speaker, Eugenio Magnani from the Tourist Board, Cosimo Scarpello, the author of Stressbook, and Matteo Picariello, Trade Commissioner of Chicago, Marco Polillo, the President of the Association of Italian Publishers, and Leopoldo Sposato from the Trade Commission headquartered in Rome. You're very welcome to join us at the reception at our booth, 1513, 1613. Next to it, there will be more information about the Voci dal Sud. Thank you and goodbye.